I just watched this IFL interview with Kalle Sauerland where he was talking about this deal between Wasserman, which is the promotional company he works for, and Channel 5. Now, it was unclear in the interview which of his fighters would be fighting on Channel 5 other than Josh Kelly, because he mentioned the fact that Eubank Jr. has got some type of deal with Sky and Hrgovic is on DAZN. He's got some kind of deal there. And Sauerland did say that he'd still be working with Sky to put on Eubank shows and with DAZN to put on Hrgovic fights, etc. So who's going to be fighting on Channel 5 then? I guess the likes of Harlem Eubank, again, Josh Kelly, Nathan Gorman, these kind of people. Not exactly a star-studded lineup as yet, but Wasserman apparently are a very powerful, big outfit, deep pockets, etc. So perhaps we're going to get some better names on there. Perhaps we're going to see some big fights. Whatever the case may be, it's still a good thing. Even if it's just, undercard type fighters, up-and-coming prospects, it's still a good thing to have boxing on terrestrial television. You guys know I've long been a fan of terrestrial TV for boxing because nothing draws more eyes than terrestrial telly, right? Free to air. Now, it isn't as big a deal as it would have been back in the days because pretty much everybody now has access to, cable, whatever you want to call it, Freeview, etc. So people can watch lots of different channels. Back in the days, there was a certain number of people that had cable and Sky, but it wasn't ubiquitous like it is now. I mean, is there any household in the UK left that only has 5 television channels? I don't think there is anymore, is there? But back in the days, there was a lot of households that only had the 4 or 5 channels. You see it. Therefore, if you put boxing on, you're more likely that people are going to watch it if you're putting it on a terrestrial television station back in the days. Whereas now that everybody's got loads of different channels, it's not as big a deal as it used to be, but it's still good to have free boxing. They can promote it across Channel 5's different programs, etc., their news and so on, and it can get eyes on the sport, and you can help to build fighters, build them into a brand, and then, I know it's cynical, slap them on pay-per-view after that, or slap them on one of the premium stations like Sky, DAZN, etc. after that. So what do you guys think about it in the comments below? Was there something I missed in that Kalle Sauerland interview regards to which fighters are going to be featuring on that platform? Will Eubank Jr.? Eubank Jr., of course, used to fight on Channel 5 under Hennessy. And what's happened to poor old Mick Hennessy? He was putting his shows on Sky, Channel 5. Isaac Chamberlain, I think, fought recently on a Mick Hennessy show. Are Channel 5 going to continue to show Mick Hennessy shows? Or has he been, barged out of the way at this point, and it's all about the Sauerlands and Wasserman? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I forgot to mention, there will be 5 Wasserman shows on Channel 5 in 2022. So that's not a particularly packed schedule, is it? Just to put it in perspective. So they're not exactly revolutionizing the game. I guess it's just like a way to get some of their prospects out and get them more eyes on them, get them more exposure, should I say. It's a way of doing that because they're obviously competing for airtime with their other fighters on DAZN. Perhaps on Sky, they're going to be competing for airtime for some of their fighters. So this is a way of getting more televised shows where they can showcase their talent, etc.